First question. Which of the following points is the likely position of the center of mass of the system shown in figure? Solution. The position of the center of mass of the system shown in figure is likely to be at C. This is because lower part of the sphere containing sand is heavier than upper part of the sphere containing air. Now observe the diagram. A, B points are in air. Upper half of the sphere is filled with air and lower half of the sphere is filled with sand. C and D are located inside the sand. We know that center of mass is always closer to the heavier mass. So option D is the right option. 3 bricks, each of length capital L and mass capital M, are arranged as shown from the wall. The distance of the center of mass of the system from the wall is. Observe the diagram, options and solution. Each brick length is L. So L by 2 is the center of mass of the lower brick. From L by 2, the L by 2 is the length of second brick and L by 4 is the extension of the third brick. From figure, x1 is equal to center of mass of the lower brick, that is L by 2, x2 distance of center of mass of the second brick, L by 2 plus L by 2, that is equal to L, x3 distance of the center of mass of the third brick, upper brick, L by 2 plus L by 4 plus L by 2, that is equal to 5L by 4. We know that xcm is equal to m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m3 x3 divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3, that is equal to capital M into L divided by 2 plus M into L plus M into 5L by 2, 5L by 4 divided by M plus M, that is equal to 11 by 4 ml divided by 3m, that is equal to 11L by 12. Option D is the right option. Next question. In the HCl molecule, the separation between the nuclei of the two atoms is about 1.27 angstroms. 1 angstrom is equal to 10 power minus 10 meter. Find the approximate location of the center of mass of the molecule given that a chlorine atom is about 35.5 times as massive as a hydrogen atom and nearly all the mass of an atom is concentrated in its nucleus. Solution. Given separation between the nuclei of H and Cl is 1.27 angstroms, that is equal to 1.27 into 10 to the power of minus 7 minus 10 meters. Let us assume that mass of hydrogen atom is small m and mass of chlorine atom is given in the question 35.5 times the mass of hydrogen. Therefore, mass of chlorine atom is equal to 35.5 m. Let us also assume that hydrogen atom is located at origin of the coordinate system. That is, position vector of the hydrogen atom R1 is equal to 0 and position vector of the chlorine atom R2 is equal to distance between H and Cl, that is 1.27 into 10 power minus 10 meters. From position vector of center of mass RCm is equal to m1 r1 plus m2 r2 divided by m1 plus m2, that is equal to m into 0 plus 35.5 into m into 1.27 into 10 power minus 10 divided by m plus 35.5 m. That implies 35.5 into 1.27 into 10 power minus 10 divided by 36.5 that is equal to 1.24 angstroms. Therefore, option B is the right option. Question. From a uniform disk of radius capital R, a circular section of radius r by 2 is cut out. The center of the hole is at r by 2. From the center of the original disk, locate the center of gravity of the resulting flat body. Solution. Let mass per unit area of the disk be assumed as sigma. Therefore, mass of the disk capital M is equal to pi r square into sigma. Mass of the portion removed from the disk is assumed as m dash is equal to pi into r by 2 whole square into sigma, that is equal to m divided by 4. The position of center of mass of the remaining portion is x is equal to minus m by 4 into r by 2. Here minus sign indicates that amount of mass is removed, divided by m minus m by 4, that is equal to minus mr by 8 into 4 divided by 3m, is equal to minus r by 6. Minus sign indicates that left of the center O, that is option C is the right option. N minus 1 equal point masses each of mass m are placed at the vertices of a regular n polygon. The vacant vertex has a position vector A with respect to the center of the polygon. Find the positive vector of the center of mass. The given system can be assumed as a combination of Nm at the center of the hexagon and minus m at the place where vacancy is present. According to the formula, RCM is equal to m1 r1 plus m2 r2 divided by m1 plus m2. By substituting the values, we will get minus a by n minus 1, that is option A is the right option. Next question. Which of the following does the center of mass lie outside the body? Solution. Center of mass of a bangle lies at the center of the bangle, which is outside the body. Therefore, option C is the right option. Two bodies of masses 1 kg and 3 kg have position vectors I cap plus 2j cap plus k cap and minus 3i cap minus 2j cap plus k cap respectively. The center of mass of this system has a position vector. Solution. The position vector of center of mass is r bar is equal to m1 r1 bar plus m2 r2 bar divided by m1 plus m2. All the values m1, m2, r1, r2 values, by substituting we will get minus 2i cap minus j cap plus k cap. Option C is the right option. A uniform thin rod AB of length capital L has a linear mass density mu x is equal to A plus bx by L, where x is measured from A. If the center of mass of the rod lies at a distance of 7 by 12 L from A, then A and B are related as. Solution. Center of mass of the rod is given by. We know that formula for center of mass xcm is equal to integral dm into x divided by integral dm. So in the place of dm, we can write it as lambda x into x as usual. So integral 0 to L lambda dx into x divided by integral lambda m. So dm value, by substituting dm value and integrating, we will get the solution as b is equal to 2a. This is the relation between a and b. Therefore, option B is the right option. Next question. A thin bar of length capital L has a mass per unit length lambda that increases linearly with distance from one end. If its total mass is capital M and its mass per unit length at the lighter end is lambda naught, then the distance of the center of mass from the lighter end is, and mass per unit length is equal to lambda naught at one end plus kx total. So capital M is equal to integral dm. That implies integral lambda dx into x, lambda dx. So by integrating and simplifying, we will get k value as 2m by L square minus 2 lambda naught divided by L. Therefore, RCM is equal to integral dm into R divided by integral dm. That is integral dm is equal to lambda into dx into x, R is equal to x. So, divided by integral dm is equal to capital M, that is equal to integral 0 to L lambda x plus kx square dx divided by capital M. By integrating and by substituting upper and lower limits, by substituting k value also, we will get the answer as 2L by 3 minus lambda naught L square by 6m, that is option A is the right option. A circular disc of radius capital R is removed from a bigger circular disc of radius 2r such that the circumference of the discs coincide. The center of mass of the new disc is alpha into capital R from the center of the bigger disc. The value of alpha is solution. Let the mass per unit area be assumed as sigma. Then the mass of the complete disc is equal to sigma into pi into radius is 2r. So therefore 2r whole square, that is equal to 4 pi sigma r square. Observe the diagram. The mass of the removed disc is equal to pi into r square, that is equal to pi into sigma r square. Let us consider the situation to be a complete disc of radius 2r on which a disc of radius capital R of negative mass is superimposed. Let O be the origin. So xcm is equal to m1 x1 plus m2 x2 divided by m1 plus m2. By substituting m1, m2, x1, x2 values, we will get xcm is equal to minus r by 3, or that implies alpha is equal to 1 divided by 3. So option B is the right option. Two masses each of mass capital M are attached to the end of a rigid massless rod of length capital L. The moment of inertia of the system about an axis passing the center of mass and perpendicular to its length is solution. The moment of inertia of the system about the given axis is I is equal to m into L by 2 whole square plus m into L by 2 whole square, that is equal to ml square by 4 plus ml square by 4, that is equal to ml square by 2. So here rod is massless, two masses are at both the ends, axis is passing through the center. The moment of inertia of a sphere of mass capital M and radius capital R about an axis passing through its center is 2 by 5 mr square. The radius of gyration of the sphere about a parallel axis to the above and tangent to the sphere is moment of inertia of sphere about its tangent 2 by 5 mr square plus mr square, that is equal to 7 by 5 mr square, that is equal to mk square, cancel. So therefore k is equal to square root of 7 by 5 into r. Option C is the right option. The ratio of the radii of gyration of a circular disc and a circular ring of the same radii about a tangential axis perpendicular to plane of the disc or ring is solution. Radius of gyration k is equal to square root of I by m, or k for a circular disc is equal to root of 3 by 2 into r, for ring root 2r. Therefore k of circular disc divided by k of ring is equal to root 3 by 2. Option D is the right option. Four thin identical rods are joined to form a square as shown. If it is rotated along an axis passing through one side, then its moment of inertia is equal to, observe the diagram, options, then solutions. I is equal to, see, left side edge, left side is on the axis. So moment of inertia for this side is 0. And upper side, then for lower side, axis is passing at one end of a thin uniform rod, and right side, this side is at a distance L. So that 1, 2, 3 total. I is equal to ml square by 3 plus ml square by 3 plus ml square, that is equal to 5 by 3 ml square. So option D is the right option. A rod of mass m and length L hinged in a vertical wall and kept horizontal by massless vertical thread as shown. Tension in the thread is, observe the diagram. In solution, as the net torque about the hinge is 0, that is torque due to tension is equal to torque due to weight. So torque due to tension is equal to T into L by 3, that is equal to torque due to weight is mg into L by 2. So that T is equal to 3 mg by 2. Option C is the right option. A force of minus F into k cap acts on O, the origin of the coordinate system as shown in the figure. The torque about the point 1, minus 1 is. Solution. Here F bar is given minus F into k cap. R bar about P is equal to minus I cap plus J cap. As tau bar is equal to R bar plus F bar, so by cross multiplication we can find it out. Tau bar is equal to minus F into plus J cap plus I cap. Option D is the right option. A solid cylinder is in pure rolling on a horizontal surface, then the relation between V and omega is. In a pure rolling motion, relation between linear velocity and angular velocity is V is equal to R omega. A spherical uniform body of radius capital R, mass capital M, and moment of inertia I rolls down without slipping on an inclined plane making an angle theta with a horizontal, then its acceleration is. We know that general formula A is equal to g sin theta divided by 1 plus k square by r square. By substituting k square by r square values, we will get denominator 1 plus ICM by m r square. Therefore, option B is the right option. A disk is pulled by a force capital F acting at a point above the center of mass of the disk. The direction of the frictional force F acting on a disk pushed on a rough surface will be represented by, observe the options. And solution. Let us assume friction is in backward direction and A is the acceleration of the disk. Usually, when a force is applied in one direction, friction develops in opposite direction. Therefore, net force F minus small f is equal to ma. The torque about the center is F plus F into R is equal to mr square by 2 into alpha, that is I alpha. I is mr square by 2 for solid cylinder. As the body is in pure rolling, A is equal to R into alpha, relation between linear acceleration and angular acceleration. On solving the above equation, we get F is equal to minus ma divided by 4. As F is negative, so our assumed direction for friction is opposite to the original direction. That means F should act in forward direction. 4 point masses each of mass m are placed at the corners of square ABCD of side L. The moment of inertia of this system about an axis passing through A and parallel to BD is. Observe the solution. The situation is shown in figure. So A, B, C, D are 4 masses placed at 4 corners of a square, and axis of rotation is passing through A, that is parallel to DB. So therefore here A mass is on the axis, there is moment of inertia becomes 0 for A, and B and D are at equal distance from the axis of rotation, that is half of the diagonal length L by root 2, and C This mass at C is at a distance from the axis of rotation equal to length of the diagonal. So therefore, Ix x dash is equal to 2m into L by root 2 whole square plus m into root 2 L whole square, that is equal to 3 ml square. Option D is the right option. From a disk of radius capital R and mass capital M, a circular hole of diameter capital R whose rim passes through the center is cut. What is the moment of inertia of the remaining part of the disk about a perpendicular axis passing through the center? Solution. Observe the diagram. For a total disk, moment of inertia is equal to mr square by 2. For removed portion, mass per unit area, that is m by pi r square into area of the removed portion, pi into r by 2 whole square, that is equal to m by 4. So, I removed about the same perpendicular axis is m by 4 into r by 2 whole square by 2, this is general formula for circular disk, plus m by 4 into r by 2 whole square, it is equal to 3mr square by 32. So, I removed is equal to I total minus, so I remaining disk is equal to I total minus I removed. By substituting the values, we will get 13 by 32 mr square. Option D is the right option. A vertical disk of mass 5 kg and radius 50 cm rests against a step of height 25 cm as shown in the figure. What minimum horizontal force applied perpendicular to the axle will make the disk to climb the step? Take G is equal to 10 meter per second square. And from the figure, see here, observe the diagram in the solution. Y is equal to total radius is equal to 50 and the height of the step is 25 centimeters. So therefore, y is equal to 25 centimeters. And x is equal to, observe here a right angled triangle. Observe the red color spot. Right angled triangle. From the right angled triangle, according to Pythagoras theorem, x can be written as square root of 50 square minus 25 square, that is equal to 25 into root 3. But torque due to applied force capital F, F into y is equal to 5g into x. Left side quantity torque due to applied force, right side quantity torque due to weight. That implies F into 25 is equal to 5 into 10 into 25 root 3, it is equal to F is equal to 50 root 3 newtons. So option B is the right option. Two end points of a rod move with velocities 3v and v perpendicular to the rod and in the same direction, separated by a distance small r. Then the angular velocity of the rod is, observe the solution. Angular velocity of the rod omega is equal to angular velocity of a point, that is equal to relative velocity, relative linear velocity divided by radius or distance. V relative being the relative velocity or velocity of one point with respect to other, r being the distance between them. So therefore 3v minus v by r, that is equal to 2v by r. Option A is the right option. A wheel of radius r rolls without slipping with a speed v on a horizontal road. When it is at a point capital A on the road, a small blob of mud separates from the wheel at its highest point and lands at point B on the road. Observe the solution. From the concepts of projectile motion, the velocities of center of mass and highest point are shown in the figure. Observe the diagram. Time of flight is equal to, from s is equal to ut plus half at square formula, initial velocity 0, the height is equal to, or s is equal to 2r, diameter is equal to half into gt square, or t is equal to, from this t is equal to square root of 4r by g. Since x is equal to ab, that is distance travelled a to b, this horizontal distance, ab is equal to velocity into time. The velocity, initial velocity at the horizontal, at the highest point 2v into t. That implies AB is equal to 4v into square root of r divided by g. Option C is the right option. Next question. A ring capital A is initially rolling without sliding with a velocity v on the horizontal surface of the body B of same mass as A. All surfaces are smooth. V has no initial velocity. What will be the maximum height reached by A and A on B? Observe the diagram. Solution. When the ring is at the maximum height, the wedge and the ring have the same horizontal component of velocity. As all the surfaces are smooth, angular velocity of the ring remains constant. From conservation of mechanical energy, we get initially half mv square plus half I omega square, because B is at rest, A is only rolling, that is equal to half mv dash square plus, this is for A, half I omega square for A and B both, plus half mv dash square for B, plus for A height mgh, where v dash is the final common velocity. From conservation of momentum, we will get h is equal to v square by 4g. Option C is the right option. Next question. PV plots for two gases during adiabatic process are shown in the figure. Plots 1 and 2 should correspond respectively to. Solution. For adiabatic process, we know that relation between pressure and volume PV power gamma is equal to constant. Also for monoatomic gases, gamma is equal to Cp by Cv, that is equal to 1.67. For diatomic gas, gamma is equal to 1.4. Since gamma for diatomic is less than gamma for monoatomic gases, therefore pressure for diatomic gases is greater than pressure for monoatomic gases. Graph 1 is for diatomic and graph 2 is for monoatomic. Therefore, option B is the right option. Next question. The PT diagram for an ideal gas is shown in the figure, where AC is an adiabatic process. Find the corresponding PV diagram. Solution. If we study the PT graph, we find AB to be a isothermal process. Observe the graph, PT graph, AB line. AC is adiabatic process given. Also, for an expansion process, the slope of adiabatic curve is more, or we can say that the area under PV graph for isothermal process is more than adiabatic process for same increase in volume. Only graph B fits the above criteria. An ideal gas is initially at P1, V1 is expanded to P2, V2 and then compressed adiabatically to the same volume V1 and pressure P3. If W is the net work done by the gas in complete process, which of the following is true? Observe the solution. In the first process, W is positive and delta V is positive. In the second process, W is negative and delta V is also negative. And the area under the curve of second process is more. Therefore, net work is less than 0 and also P3 is greater than P1, that is option B is the right option. An ideal gas is expanding such that Pt square is equal to constant. The coefficient of volume expansion of the gas is, observe the solution, Pt square is equal to constant, that is given in the question. But according to the ideal gas equation, PV by T is equal to constant. From the above two equations, after eliminating P from the two equations, we will get V by T cube is equal to constant, or that implies V is equal to K into T cube, where K is constant, proportionality constant. So both sides, if we can take differentiation, dV by V is equal to 3 into dt by T. But we know that dV by V is equal to, or dV is equal to 3 by T V into dt. We know that change in volume due to thermal expansion is given by dV is equal to V into gamma into delta T, where gamma is the coefficient of cubical expansion or volume expansion. From equations 1 and 2, V gamma dt is equal to 3 by T V dt cancel, and gamma is equal to 3 divided by T. V also cancel both sides. Option C is the right option. 5.6 liter of helium gas at STP is adiabatically compressed to 0.7 liter. Taking the initial temperature to be T1, the work done in the process is solution. Initial volume V1 is equal to 5.6 liters. Initial temperature T1 is equal to 273 kelvins. Initial pressure P1 is equal to 1 atmosphere. Gamma is equal to 5 by 3 for monoatomic gases. The number of moles of a gas is N is equal to 5.6 liters divided by 22.4 liters, that is equal to 1 divided by 4, where 22.4 liters is the volume of 1 mole of a gas at STP or NTP. Finally, after adiabatic compression, V2 is equal to 0.7 L final value. For adiabatic expansion, relation between temperature and volume is Tv power gamma minus 1 is equal to constant, or T1 V1 power gamma minus 1 is equal to T2 V2 power gamma minus 1. By substituting all above values, work done in the adiabatic process N into R into delta T divided by gamma minus 1, that is equal to 9 by 8 RT1. Option A is the right option. A gas is enclosed in a cylinder with a movable frictionless piston. Its initial thermodynamic state at pressure Pi is equal to 10 power 5 Pascal and volume Vi is equal to 10 power minus 3 meter cube. Changes to a final state at Pf is equal to 1 by 32 into 10 power 5 Pascal and Vf is equal to 8 into 10 power minus 3 meter cube in an adiabatic quasi-static process such that P cube V power 5 is equal to constant. Consider another thermodynamic process that brings the system from the same initial state to the same final state in 2 steps. An isobaric expansion at Pi followed by an isovolumetric process at volume Vf. The amount of heat supplied to the system in the 2-step process is approximately solution. Given in the question, P cube V power 5 is equal to constant, or this can be written as P V power 5 by 3 is equal to constant, gamma is equal to 5 by 3 here. Comparing with this equation, PV power gamma is equal to constant, we will get gamma is equal to 5 by 3 for monoatomic gas. For adiabatic process, W is equal to Pf Vf minus Pi Vi by 1 minus gamma. By substituting all these values, so we will get work done is equal to 112.5 joules. From the first law of thermodynamics, Q is equal to delta U plus W, but for adiabatic process, Q is equal to 0. Therefore, delta U is equal to minus W. Therefore, delta U is equal to minus 112.5 joules. Now, applying first law of thermodynamics for process 1 and 2 and adding Q1 plus Q2, delta U plus Pi into Vf minus Vi, that is equal to 587.55. Next question, 100 grams of water is heated from 30 degrees Celsius to 50 degrees Celsius. Ignoring the slight expansion of the water, the change in its internal energy is, specific heat of water is given, 4184 joule per kg per Kelvin. Solution. We know that delta U is equal to delta Q, that is equal to mc delta T, that is equal to 100 into 10 power minus 3 into 4184 into 50 minus 30, approximately equal to 8.4 kilojoule. That is option A is the right option. An ideal gas undergoes a quasi-static reversible process in which its molar heat capacity C remains constant. If during this process the relation of pressure P and volume V is given by PV power N is equal to constant, then N is given by, here HP, Cp and Cv are molar specific heat and constant pressure and constant volume respectively. Solution. For a polytropic process, we know that C is equal to Cv plus R by 1 minus N. Therefore, C minus Cv is equal to R divided by 1 minus N. Therefore, 1 minus n is equal to r by c by c minus cv. Therefore, 1 minus r by c minus cv is equal to n, or n is equal to c minus cv minus r divided by c minus cv, that is equal to c minus cv minus r is equal to cp minus cv. So, here minus cp plus cv divided by c minus cv, or finally we can get n is equal to cp minus c minus cp by c minus cv. So, that is option D is the right option. A Carnot engine takes 3 into 10 power 6 calories of heat from a reservoir at 627 degrees Celsius and gives it to a sink at 27 degrees Celsius. The work done by the engine is solution. We know that efficiency of the Carnot's heat engine neta is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1, that is equal to 1 minus 273 plus 27 by 273 plus 627. By simplifying it, we will get 2 by 3 neta. But neta is also written as W by Q definition. Therefore, W by Q is equal to 2 by 3 or W is equal to 2 by 3 into Q. Q is given in the question. So, therefore, 2 by 3 into 3 into 10 power 6, or finally we will get the answer in terms of joule, 8.4 into 10 power 6 joules. That is option B is the right option. Next question. A system goes from A to B via two processes 1 and 2 as shown in figure. If delta U1 and delta U2 are the changes in internal energies in the processes I1 and 2 respectively, then solution. Change in internal energy do not depend upon the path followed by the process. It only depends on initial and final states, that is delta U1 is equal to delta U2. So, option B is the right option. The temperature entropy diagram of a reversible engine cycle is given in the figure. Its efficiency is solution. Q1 is equal to T0 S0 plus half T0 S0 as per the diagram given in the question. That is equal to 3 by 2 T0 S0. So, and Q2 is equal to T0 into 2 S0 minus S0, that is T0 S0, and Q3 is equal to 0. So, therefore, neta is equal to 1 minus Q2 by Q1. By substituting, we will get neta value is 1 by 3. That is option D is the right option. Next question. A thermally insulated vessel contains an ideal gas of molecular mass capital M and ratio of specific heats gamma. It is moving with speed V and it's suddenly brought to rest. Assuming no heat is lost to the surroundings, its temperature increases by. Here, work done is 0. So, loss in kinetic energy is equal to change in internal energy of the gas. So, half mv square is equal to n cv dt is equal to n into cv value r divided by gamma minus 1 into dt as it is. That implies half mv square is equal to small m by capital M, that is n. Number of moles n is equal to small m by capital M into r by gamma minus 1 into delta t. Therefore, delta t is equal to mv square into gamma minus 1 into k divided by 2r. Option C is the right option. A Carnot engine operating between temperatures T1 and T2 has efficiency 1 by 6. When T2 is lowered by 62 kelvins, its efficiency increases to 1 by 3. Then T1 and T2 are respectively. Efficiency of the engine neta is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1, or 1 by 6 is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1, and neta is equal to 1 minus T2 minus 62 by T1, that is equal to 1 by 3. Therefore, T1 is equal to 372 kelvins and T2 is equal to 5 by 6 into 370, that is 310 kelvins. Option D is the right option. Next question. Helium gas goes through a cycle A, B, C, D, A consisting of two isochoric and isobaric lines as shown in the figure. Efficiency of this cycle is nearly. Observe the solution. Heat given to the system is equal to NCV dt from A to B plus NCP dt from B to C. CV at constant value and CP at constant pressure. So that is equal to 3 by 2 NR dt from A to B plus 5 by 2 nR dt from B to C. And by substituting with known values and simplifying, we will get work done is equal to 15.4. Work done W is equal to P naught V naught, or neta is equal to work by heat given, that is P naught V naught by 13 by 2 P naught V naught into 100, that is equal to 15.4%. Option A is the right option. A Carnot engine whose efficiency is 40% takes in heat from a source maintained at a temperature of 500 kelvins. It is desired to have an engine of efficiency 60%. Then the intake temperature for the same exhaust temperature must be. Solution. Efficiency is given 40%, that is 40 by 100, that is equal to 0.4 is equal to 1 minus T2 by 500, and 0.6 is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1. On solving the above two, we will get T2 is equal to 750 kelvins. Option C is the right option. 1 mole of a diatomic ideal gas undergoes a cyclic process ABC as shown in figure. The process BC is adiabatic. The temperature at A, B, C are 400 kelvins, 800 kelvins and 600 kelvins respectively. Choose the correct statement. Solution. In cyclic process, change in total internal energy is 0. Therefore, delta U for complete cycle is equal to 0. Delta U for BC is equal to NCV dt, that is equal to 1 into 5R by 2 delta T, where CV molar specific heat at constant volume. For BC curve, delta T is equal to minus 200 kelvins. Therefore, delta U for BC curve is equal to minus 500 into R. Option D is the right option. Consider an ideal gas confined in a isolated closed chamber. As the gas undergoes an adiabatic expansion, the average time of collision between molecules increases as V power Q, where V is the volume of the gas and value of Q is, where gamma is equal to Cp by Cv. Tau is equal to mean free path, it is 1 divided by root 2 pi d square into n by V into root of 3 RT by M, where tau is directly proportional to V by root T. As Tv power gamma minus 1 is equal to constant, so T is directly proportional to V power gamma plus 1 by 2. Therefore, Q is equal to gamma plus 1 by 2. Option A is the right option. N moles of an ideal gas undergoes a process A to B as shown in the figure. The maximum temperature of the gas during the process will be. Solution. The equation for the line is P is equal to minus P naught by V naught into V plus 3P. Slope of the line minus P naught by V naught and C is equal to 3P naught. So, therefore, PV naught plus P naught V is equal to 3 P naught V naught equation 1, but PV is equal to nRT ideal gas equation, or P is equal to nRT by V second equation. From equations 1 and 2, by substituting from equations 1 and 2, we will get nRT V naught plus P naught V square is equal to 3 P naught V naught. This we can assume as equation 3. For temperature to be maximum, dT by dV is equal to 0. Differentiating equation 3 by V, we get n r V naught into dt by dV plus P naught into 2V is equal to 3 P naught V naught. Therefore, n r V naught into dt by dV is equal to 3 P naught V naught minus 2 P naught V. dt by dV is equal to 3 P naught V naught minus 2 P naught V by n r V naught, that is equal to 0. P is equal to 3 V naught by 2, therefore P is equal to 3 P naught by 2 from equation 1. Therefore, T maximum is equal to 9 P naught V naught by 4 N R from equation 3. This is the answer. Next question. A diatomic ideal gas is compressed adiabatically to 1 by 32 of its initial volume. If the initial temperature of the gas is Ti in Kelvin and the final temperature is a Ti, the value of A is. Solution. For an adiabatic process, the temperature volume relationship is Tv power gamma minus 1 is equal to constant, or T1 V1 power gamma minus 1 is equal to T2 V2 power gamma minus 1. That implies T1 is equal to T2 into V2 by V1 whole power gamma minus 1. Here gamma is equal to 1.4 for diatomic gas, and V2 is equal to V1 by 32, T1 is equal to Ti, T2 is equal to ATI. Therefore, Ti is equal to ATI into 1 by 32 whole power 1.4 minus 1 is equal to ATI into 1 by 2 to the power of 5 whole to the power of 0.4, or that is equal to ATI by 4. Therefore, A is equal to 4. Option A is the right option. Next question. A thermodynamic system is taken from an initial state I with internal energy Ui is equal to 100 joules to the final state F along two different paths IAF and IBF. As schematically shown in the figure, the work done by the system along the paths AF, IB and BF are WAF is equal to 200 joules, WIB is equal to 50 joules, and WBF is equal to 100 joules respectively. The heat supplied to the system along the path IAF, IB and BF are QIAF, QIB and QBF respectively. If the internal energy of the system in the state B is UB is equal to 200 joules and QIAF is equal to 500 joules, the ratio QBF by QIB is, observe the graph also given in the question. Solution. Applying first law of thermodynamics to path IAF, QIAF is equal to internal energy in the path IAF plus work done in the path IAF. That is 500 is equal to delta U IAF plus 200. Therefore, delta U IAF is equal to 300 joules. Now, QIBF is equal to delta UIBF plus WIB plus WBF. That is equal to 300 plus 50 plus 100. QIB plus QBF is equal to 450 joules, equation 1. Also, QIB is equal to triangle UIB plus WIB. Therefore, QIB is equal to 100 plus 50, that is equal to 150 joules. From 1 and 2, QBF by QIB is equal to 300 by 150, that is equal to 2. Option A is the right option.